Hey fellow trade geniuses, Philip here, and I wanted to do a recap of our trade for January 27th, 2017. So we had a high probability signal on the AJ. It fired early, and we entered in the 9 o'clock hour on this bar. And that was shortly after the GDP and a couple other news items came out, economic news, which pumped up the Aussie, the pound, the euro briefly, and then they kind of retracted. So that got our entry at 87. This level here I liked because not only was it beyond a one standard deviation move for the session, we also had this prior resistance over here, as well as good probabilities from our probability engine. And so we had a brief little moment after the top of the hour where we peaked a little higher, and that was about it. And at that point, after the 12 noon time frame, it basically just kind of petered out. The yen too is also in a spot where it's going to bounce likely. So short term, things were lining up for this condition. Now we talk about trading on Fridays, and I am leery of trading on Fridays on the lower premium grabs, especially the dollar crosses. That can get a little volatile towards session end. The yen stuff, not so much. And so the Aussie yen is a little bit safer in that regard on a Friday. But the criteria that was lining up and being met here was very favorable. So I felt pretty good about getting us into this trade. And I love getting high premium on our high probability signals. We get high premium on our swings, and that's a must because the win rate on those is lower. So when we can combine that and our high probability entries, it's a great setup. So we captured 45 per contract on this because that went to full expiration. And by the time we got to the 1 o'clock time frame on down to here at 2 o'clock, probabilities were really good at that point. So I didn't see any need to get out early. So that was our one trade for today. It was a good way to end the week. On the week, we had a light week, and that goes back to the VIX. VIX has been pretty low, and it remains low. In fact, let's take a look at that chart real quick. Okay, so as you can see, we are down here at 1058. We put in a low of 1030. I mean, guys, this is just pretty. I think this is close to all-time lows, and so it's very, as far as Nadex premiums go, it's going to be pretty stingy still. So this week, what I'm getting at is this week we had a light amount of trades, and this is a direct reason why. If we were above 13 or even up in here, we'd have a lot more intraday setups on the high probability captures. What's more exasperating is that the FX volatility is actually elevated, and but they tie the premiums to the VIX, and so I would preferably like to see them tie it to the Euro VIX, which is more I think in tune to FX volatility. So, but that's not the case, and so we got to play with the cards that are dealt. So on the week, we ended up having 2 overnight UJ trades set up. Actually, 3 of those would have liked to have gotten 3, but one didn't quite fill at the price we wanted, so I wasn't able to tweet that one out. It just never came down to a spot where I could tweet that out to you guys. So, but we got 2 nice winners on that. We had a high premium capture. We actually had 2 high premium captures on high probability setups on the Aussie yen. Monday, that set up in the morning as well, high probability, and as well as Friday. And the one stinker we had was our 5 p.m. Pound dollar trade on Monday. That was when Mnuchin, I think is how you say his name, the new Treasury Secretary nominee, made comments about a weak dollar after market hours. And if he hadn't said anything, that trade either wouldn't have gotten filled or would have been a cruiser because that time of day is pretty sleepy. But unfortunately, got stuck with news on that and couldn't do much about it. So, positive week if you got all those trades, and hopefully we'll see if we can get a little bit of pullback on the indexes. I think or the indices, we'll see this VIX pop up here, and hopefully if we can get back up into this area here, it'll be a little more forgiving, and we should be able to get at least intraday trades, the high probability stuff, Monday through Thursday, because that's typically what I expect to get on top of our swings, on top of our UJ trade. Okay, so anyway, good week, good discipline. Sometimes it's tough to trade less, but it's just what we have to do right now. So if you guys have any questions, please leave me some comments below or shoot me an email, and I'll do a couple of videos this weekend. If there's any videos that you guys would like to see or topics covered, please let me know. Shoot me an email or leave some comments below and tell me what you want to see. Alright guys, that does it for this week. I'll be back with you probably Sunday night for some more setups shaping up for the week. I'll tweet that information out. Until then, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.